Alright, what is up you guys, and welcome back to the Progressive Skills in English Level 3 coursebook. In today's recording we're going to be going over the speaking section, so let's hop right in. Here we have exercise A, building background knowledge. Study the assignment on the right, so let's take a look at the assignment. Faculty of Sociology. What do audiences do with media? 1. Television quiz shows. Research the work of Katz et al. 1973 on television quiz shows. Give a short presentation at the next tutorial. Okay, now let's go to 2. Are television quiz shows popular in your country? What is the most popular one? To be completely honest, I don't know much about television quiz shows. I know a lot about shows, but not quiz shows. So there's one here, it's called, I know this one, it's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? But I think that's about it. So in my country, I would say, I think this is one of the most popular ones. Do you like quiz shows? Why? Why not? Personally, I'm not a big fan, right? Why? Because I don't get the satisfaction from it, you know? So I like normal shows, I don't like quiz shows. 4. Why do people watch these shows? Make a list of possible reasons. Okay, I think I can relate as to why people might enjoy watching these shows. We'll say some stuff like, you know, the educational appeal. You might learn something new. Also things like excitement, just like when you get excited at like a fight scene or a racing scene in a normal TV show, you can get excited knowing that someone might win $1 million based on his answers. That's also exciting. And also probably self-rating, you know, comparing yourself to the person answering the questions to see if you're better, you're worse, or you're about, you know, the same. Okay, now let's go to exercise B, understanding a model. Let's take a look. I think we're going to hear the presentation. Alright, here we go. So listen to Marco giving his presentation. How does he begin and why? Keep in mind these two questions. Which of your reasons in exercise A4? Oh, we'll come back to that. So I'll start playing. Here we go.
Track 4.7. Good morning. I'm Marco. I'm going to talk to you today about television quiz shows. Did you know that the quiz show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is shown in more than 80 countries? Why is it so popular? According to Katz et al., in their 1973 article, there are 4 main reasons. The first reason is self-rating, which means comparing yourself to the people on the shows. For example, some people laugh at the mistakes of the contestants. Secondly, the shows are the starting point for communication with other people. In other words, they are the basis for social interaction. Some people like talking about the show later. Some like competing with friends or family during the show. And some cooperating with them to answer the questions. The third reason is excitement, which is a way of taking away boredom. Some people like the excitement of a close finish, while some try to guess the winner. Finally, there is something called educational appeal. Appeal, in this case, means producing interest or involvement. Some people find they know more than they thought, and some less. Okay, that's the end of my talk. Any questions?
Alright, so that was Marco's presentation. Now let's start with B1. How does he begin and why? We'll say that he begins the presentation with a fact, right? An interesting fact to get you started and get you excited. And that's basically trying to capture your attention, okay? and I think it was something around the lines right here. So it is shown in more than 80 countries, okay? Thus saying that it's popular. Okay, let's open this again. Which of your reasons in exercise A4 does he mention? Right, so I personally mentioned self-rating, excitement, and educational appeal. What I didn't mention is starting point for communication, so that one's extra, I guess. Okay, so 4 reasons: self-rating, starting point for communication, excitement, and educational appeal. Okay, now let's move on. C, practicing the model. Study an extract from the presentation on the right. Which term does he explain in this extract and practice saying the sentences? Okay, so I'm going to read this, but before I do, I want you guys to pause the video and read it on your own, right? See, I want you to focus on your intonation. You see how his voice goes up and down? I'm talking about Marco, by the way. So Marco's voice goes up and down, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a couple minutes. But for now, I want you to focus on your intonation when reading this, okay? So let's go. Did you know that the quiz show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is shown in more than 80 countries? Why is it so popular? According to Katz et al., in their 1973 article, there are 4 main reasons. The first reason is self-rating, which means comparing yourself to the people on the shows. For example, some people laugh at the mistakes of the contestants. Right. Now let's go to exercise C. Which term does he explain in this extract? That's pretty simple. He's talking about self-rating. Okay? Now let's move on. D, explaining terms. How does Marco explain these terms? The basis of social interaction. Well, he explains these by saying, for the basis of social interaction, he says a starting point, right? A starting point for communication. Things like, did you see? Okay? 2, excitement. Well, excitement is, he explained it by saying it's something that takes away boredom, right? And finally, educational appeal. Well, educational appeal, here means producing basically something interesting, or basically the involvement in new information. Okay? What else do we have? Right, now let's go to exercise E, relating theory to own experience. Which reason or reasons for watching television quiz shows from Katz et al. Apply to you or people you know? So we mentioned 4, right? Self-rating, starting point for communication, excitement, and educational appeal. So which of these reasons which of these apply to you or people you know? Well, none of them apply to me because I do not watch quiz shows, but I do know a lot of people, right? People that I know that are usually self-rating, right? Self-rating and also excitement and educational appeal. So a lot of people, really close people to me, they self-rate, okay? So they self-rate themselves to see how they go with people on the show. Also excitement, right? People are excited knowing, like I said before, the fact that you could win a car by answering some questions right. And finally, but this one is not as common, and that's educational appeal. Just watching, for the fact that you might get new information. Alright, now let's take a look at the vocab box. Here we have appeal, contestant, educational, etal, excitement, laugh, popular, quiz, and self-rating. Right, now let's go to exercise A, next page, reviewing vowel sounds. Listen, what do the words in each row have in common? Let's take a look at the pronunciation check 1 before we move on. Unstressed syllables. Right, so in English, multi-syllable words usually have unstressed syllables. So you have the word popular, answer, reason. So all of these make or have their own sound. You see that popular, it has that A sound. Answer, that E, if you focus on it, it's right here. And O, reason. Okay, so multi-syllable words usually have unstressed syllables. Right, any vowel letter can become that A sound, but it does not happen often with I or U. So any vowel Pretty sure you guys know what vowels are. Any vowel letter can become A, but it does not happen often with I or U. Hell, it can even happen with pairs of vowels. So think of I and A, right? I and O and U. So words like social, education, and obvious. Let's take a look at exercise A here. Listen. All right, let's listen and then we'll check our answers.
Track 4.8. A.
About. Media. Appeal.
All right, so for this row right here, we're going to talk about row A. We have about, media, and appeal. It has that A sound, right? So that's basically they have the same letter with the pronunciation of A.
B.
Excitement. Cooperate. Winner.
Okay, again in B we have the same letter that has that I, right? It's an E, but it's pronounced I. Excitement, cooperate, winner. Okay?
C.
Boredom. Compare. Contestant.
All right, C has that sort of A sound, like boredom, compare, contestant. It's not really pronounced. Okay? Now let's take a look at exercise B, reviewing intonation. And this is the part where I wanted to talk to you guys about because intonation is so important when it comes to public speaking and giving presentations and such. Okay, so let's take a look at pronunciation check 2 first. So common intonation patterns. These are just a couple patterns that'll help you get started on how to improve your intonation when speaking. So when you're giving your talk, you must use English intonation patterns. Here are 2 common patterns. Right, so your voice should rise before joining words. So joining words like and, but, or. Okay? 2, your voice should fall before the end of sentences. So when you're coming towards the end of a sentence, you should lower your voice just a little bit. Okay? So let's see. Here we have, secondly, the shows are used as a basis for social interaction, right? Just before the joining words, in this case it's or, my voice goes a little bit higher and starts coming down after or towards the end of the sentence. So try it one more time with me. We have, secondly, the shows are used as a basis for social interaction or talking to other people. You see how I did that? So use the same intonation pattern as this one. For example, some people laugh at the mistakes of the contestants. See how my voice lowered a little bit? So right here we have no joining word, so we'll just lower our voice towards the end of the sentence. Don't think about it too much, it'll come naturally, but just keep it in your mind. Alright, B, reviewing intonation. How should you say this part of the talk in lesson 4.3? So according to Katz et al. In their 19, there are 4 main reasons. Okay, so right here, I'm not sure, we don't have, there are, actually we do. No we don't, sorry about that. We don't have a joining word, so we'll just lower our voice towards the ending. So according to Katz et al., in their 1973 article, there are 4 main reasons. Okay? 2, yep, say the sentence again with the correct, yep. Practice saying some more sentences about watching TV quiz shows. Okay, so here we have 4. I want you to pause the video right now and use the intonation patterns that we practiced. Okay? Now let me do them. So, when they get the right answer, people feel good. For a while, people can forget their worries. They imagine they are on the program and doing well. Remember, just before R, raise your voice. Okay? They choose a contestant and feel proud when he wins or gets a question right. In some houses, TV quizzes bring the family together. Alright? So that was actually, never mind. We have the vocab box. We have article, catharsis, compare, cooperate, environmental, escapism, insight, reinforcement, and winner. Okay, so that was the first 2 pages of speaking. Now let's move on. Alright, you guys, so now let's move on to exercise C. Here we have identifying a new skill 1, read skills check 1. So let's go. Here we have explaining specialist terms. So when you present research, you will most likely have to use specialist terms. Your audience probably will not understand these terms, okay? So you always gotta explain the term before you use it or after. The point is, you gotta explain what you're talking about, okay? For example, if I want to talk about basis for social interaction, most people don't know what basis for social interaction means, right? So I'm going to have to explain what that means. So in this case, we start before actually using the word itself, basis for social interaction. So, example, the shows are the starting point for communication with other people. In other words, they are the basis for social interaction. Okay? Let's say I'm going to explain what I mean by after I use it. So I could say, finally, there is something called educational appeal. Appeal, in this case, means producing interest or involvement. Okay? So the thing is, you have to explain the term that you're about to use, either before or after. Okay? Now let's go to exercise D, practicing a new skill, work in pairs. Alright, so if you're in class, work in pairs. Look at 3 broad areas of media usage and 2 specialist terms for each. Alright, let's take a look. So here we have media usage, we have 3 types. We have emotional release, understanding, and social effects. And here we have 6 for 2 students. So student A, student B, we have escapism, catharsis, reinforcement, insight, companionship, and environmental control. And by the way, I'm not too sure, but I don't think you guys know what catharsis means. Catharsis is basically the process, right, or the relief of releasing strong or repressed emotions. All right. Now let's go to alright, we're gonna skip this. Explain your terms to your partner. Okay, so like I said, if you guys are doing this in pairs, then explain the terms to each other. Okay, if not, that's totally fine. Let's go to 3. Do you, your friends, members of your family use media? Notice how he said media and not quiz TV shows like in the previous ones. For any of these purposes, explain your answers. Okay, so this will be up to you. So I'll talk about, I'll say my answers. So yes, do you, your friends, I'll talk about me first. So yes, I do use media for, I'll say, emotional release and social effects for the most part, right? First of all, I use it as a way to escape reality, right? Whether that's, watching a new TV show or mindlessly scrolling through Instagram. The thing is, I'm trying to escape the real world. Others call it procrastination. I call it just escaping the real world for a while. Okay? I also use it, right, as a means for catharsis, right? Sometimes you have those emotions that you can't really talk to someone about. Someone's not available that you want to talk to, so you just, let's say you're really angry, you'll go and watch like a violent movie or something. Okay? Also for social effects, sometimes I use media as a way for companionship, pretty self-explanatory, and even for environmental control, especially here. Okay? So this is my answer. Talk about yours, and then let's move on. Right, what else do we have here? Here we have exercise E, identifying a new skill 2. Let's take a look at skills check 2 first. So here we have omitting items in repeated structures. Omitting means removing, okay? So we can often omit words in later sentences or clauses about the same topic. Right, so let me elaborate on what that means. Let's take a look at the example. So we have, some people use media for understanding themselves. I don't need to say some people again. You see, some words you can just get rid of and it'll sound much better. So instead of saying some people, I could just say some use it for environmental control and some for emotional release. You see how by omitting some words, the sentence is not only shorter but also sounds better. Okay? By the way, the word some here is stressed and has a vowel in these sentences. Let's take a look at exercise E. You guys will get the gist of it once we start practicing. Okay, these sentences about watching TV quiz shows are grammatically correct, right? So they are correct, but this is not exactly the way Marco gave his information. We're going to listen to Marco in just a second. What did Marco actually say in his presentation? Listen and check, change the sentences to match Marco's words, right? So we'll listen first, and then we'll check. Here we go.
Track 4.9. Some people like talking about the show later. Some like competing with friends or family during the show. And some cooperating with them to answer the questions.
Alright, so some people, that's what he said, some people like talking about the show later. Good. Some, and then he gets rid of the word people here. Okay, so we'll just say some like competing with friends or family during the show. And some, and then we'll get rid of both people and like. Oh wow, I can actually get rid of it, so right here. So we'll get rid of people and like so. Okay. Let me actually get rid of people here as well. I don't know why I can't press this. It's not allowing me, so we'll get rid of people here. And some cooperating with them to answer the questions. That's how he said it. Okay, so one more time, I'm going to read it quickly. Some people like talking about the show later. Some like competing with friends or family during the show. And some cooperating with them to answer the questions. Alright? So that was exercise E. Now let's move on. Okay, let's take a look at exercise F, omitting items. Okay, which words can you omit in each sentence without changing the meaning? Okay, so we want to get rid of some words, right, without changing the meaning of the sentence itself. So A, some people like quiz shows, some people like films, and some people like current affairs programs. Okay, so some people like quiz shows, and then we'll get rid of people here. We don't need that. So we'll say some, and then straight like films, and then we'll say, and some people like, we'll get rid of people like. So right here, we're going to do this, boom. Okay, and some, one second, and some current affairs programs. Okay, 2, or B. Some teenagers communicate mainly by text. Some teenagers use instant messaging, and some teenagers use Facebook. Okay? So B, some teenagers communicate mainly by text, and then we're going to get rid of teenagers here. Okay? Like so. Some use instant messaging, and some teenagers use Facebook. So we'll get rid of teenagers here as well. Okay? Some use Facebook. Actually, I think this is wrong. So some people like quiz shows, some like films, and some like, we'll add like back, like current affairs programs. Okay? C, some films make you laugh, some films make you cry, and some films make you think. Okay? Some films make you laugh, and then we'll get rid of the second films, so get rid of this right here. Okay, some films make you cry, and then we'll say some films, and then we'll also get rid of films here. Okay, so some make you think. Okay, so that was exercise F. Now, I think that's about it. Right, we have G, producing the model. Again, this will be entirely up to you because you'll be making your own personal examples from the notes here. So these are Marco's notes for his presentation. Okay, add personal examples for each reason, right? So you have some reasons here. So add some personal examples for each reason for yourself or friends or family. Okay? If you're in class, I suggest practice giving the presentation in front of people. It'll help you speak better. and help your partners when they're talking, to give better sentences with remembered intonation, stress, and pronunciation. Okay? So that was this speaking part, you guys. Now let's move on. Alright, you guys, so now let's move on to the final or actually the last two exercises for the speaking section. Here we have exercise A, activating ideas. Who do you need to arrange meetings with, and why do you need to meet them? Right, so this is just a simple personal question, right? Who do you need to arrange meetings with? Think of all the people that you could arrange meetings with and why. For example, I could say, friends, other students. You could say your wife or husband. You could also say, different family members, tutors, colleagues. Okay, all of these are examples. What about the information? When you arrange a meeting, what details do you guys need to agree on? Well, we could say the time. That's an important one. Okay, always be punctual, don't be late. Also the place. You guys could also exchange phone numbers and possibly even talk about the activity that you guys are going to do. So whether that's going out for brunch or watching a movie, it depends. Okay? Now let's go to exercise B, studying the models. Here we have listen and choose possible people and meeting places from the boxes below. Right, let's listen to this and then we'll move on.
Track 4.11. 1.
I'd like to ask you something about the assignment.
Sure. Can you come and see me this afternoon?
Yes, what time is best?
I'm giving a lecture until 2:30. I'm free after that.
Alright, we're going to stop this for a second. Listen and choose possible people and meeting places from the boxes below. So, based on what we just heard, the first voice was a student. Second voice was a lecturer, and I think the meeting place was probably a tutorial room. Okay?
2.
Are you free to do some research today?
No, I can't make it. I'm busy all day.
What day is good for you?
Can we meet tomorrow in the library?
Okay, so again, A is a student and B is also a student, right? Both are students, and their meeting place is going to be the library.
3.
Can someone here give me some advice about fees?
Yes, you need to make an appointment. What about tomorrow, 9:30?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, again, so looks like a student needs help with the fees, or paying her fees, so we'll say student and a receptionist, and the meeting place is at the fees office.
4.
I'll see you on Monday evening about 7 then.
Yes. Shall we meet at the meeting point at the station?
Great. I'll be there. And don't be late.
I won't.
Right, based on their tone and the way they're talking, I think both are students / friends, and the meeting place is the meeting point at the gas station.
5. We can do the interview tomorrow if you like.
Yes, that would be great. What time?
I'll meet you at the reception desk at 10 o'clock.
Right. Look forward to meeting you then.
Alright, so it looks, I think the first voice is actually like a journalist, right? Then second voice is a student, and the meeting place is going to be the receptionist desk. Or reception desk, sorry.
6.
Are you coming to see the show tomorrow?
Yes, of course. Where are we meeting your parents?
At the main entrance to the theatre at 7.
OK. I'll see you there. Just before 7.
Okay, looks like first voice was a student, and the second voice was also a student, plus the parents. So we'll say the meeting place is at the main entrance. Okay, let's take a look. Listen again and complete the conversations with verbs from the box below. You can use a verb more than once. Alright, so here we have some verbs: to do, to see, to make, would, see, won't, meeting, give, make, meet, and giving. And we're going to have to use them to complete the conversations below. Let's take a look at 1. I'd like to ask you something about the assignment. Sure, can you come and dash me this afternoon? We'll say, can you come and see me? Right? So can you come and see me this afternoon? Yes. What time is best? I'm dash a lecture until 2:30. I'm free after that. So we'll say, do we have giving? Yes, we do right here. So I'm giving a lecture until 2:30. Okay? 2. A, are you free dash some research today? We'll say, are you free to do? Okay? Some research today. No, I can't. We'll say make it. Yep, right here. No, I can't make it. I'm busy all day. What day is good for you? Can we dash tomorrow? We'll say, can we meet tomorrow in the library? 3. Can someone here dash me advice about fees? We'll say, can someone here give me some advice about fees? B, yes, you need, and then obviously this one's pretty simple, to make an appointment. What about tomorrow, 9:30? Yes, that's fine. 4, I'll dash you on Monday evening about 7 then. So we'll say, I'll see. Yep, we'll use see again here. So I'll see you on Monday evening about 7 then. Yes, shall we? And again, we'll use meet one more time. Shall we meet at the meeting point at the station? Great, I'll be there and don't be late. And here he wants to say he will not, so we'll say I won't. Okay. 5, we can do the interview tomorrow if you like. Yes, that. Do we have would? Yes, we do. Right, great. Yes, that would be great. What time? I think we could say I'll meet again. Right. I'll meet you at the reception desk at 10 o'clock. Right, look forward to meeting. So, yep, meeting with an ing. Meet with an ing. Look forward to meeting you then. 6, are you coming, we'll say, to see. Do we have to see? Yes, we do. Are you coming to see the show tomorrow? Yes, of course. Where are we? Actually, hold on. Where are we? We'll say meeting one more time. Where are we? Oh, wow. That didn't work out. Like so. Yes, of course. Where are we meeting your parents? At the main entrance to the theater at 7. Okay, we'll say see. I'll see you there just before 7. Alright? So that was exercise B. I think that's it, right? Yeah, we're done. Alright, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.